Hey guys, my name is Nick and welcome to Watch This Now. Bad Boys is the latest film property to get dusted off for that good old-fashioned many years later sequel treatment because apparently someone thought that we needed this. It's been 25 years since the first Bad Boys came out and 17 years since the sequel came out, and both of them are actually on Netflix right now in case you want to catch up on them before seeing this new one. I went to watch the first Bad Boys the other night and I was like, I've seen this movie. I know this. And I also have to admit that I also felt like I was watching something that I'd seen before watching Bad Boys for Life. The gist of the story is this. There's an evil Mexican cartel lady. She busts her ass out of jail, gets her son to go off and do a whole bunch of murder business. They're getting revenge on some cops that did this woman wrong many years ago. So that of course puts our bad boys in the path of their murderous rage. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are so great on screen together. I mean, Will Smith is Will Smith. He's always entertaining. He somehow made Aladdin kind of watchable after a few drinks. And it's nice to see him here in an adult role. And Martin Lawrence, I love Martin Lawrence. I have missed him. He was all over the early 2000s and then he just disappeared. And he does some actual acting in this movie. I really hope that he sticks around and he's got some more movies lined up because he's great. Will Smith's character, Mike, is still living like he's a young man, always into his work and chase and tail, not settling down. And Lawrence's character, Marcus, is all the way settled down. He is a grandfather, ready to retire. He just wants to put his feet up and chill. And so naturally, those two have to battle their differences as they take on one last case together. I'm not the biggest fan of like cop movies. They're just not my thing personally. But I'll admit the first Bad Boys is an enjoyable film. This sequel, however, feels pretty unnecessary to me because it acts like a Bad Boys installment. It doesn't feel like we've had like, a 3-film progression. It just feels like, here they are again. I mean, I really don't think you actually have to watch the first two in order to go see this. I chuckled along enough in order to have like a fun time throughout, but the action also just, there wasn't anything that original or spicy to it that felt different and new to me. There was like one cool motorcycle chase, but it ends up getting over the top and just a little silly, like way too quickly. I got to the point where I was like, have we not already had a shootout in this particular warehouse right here? They do something that really just irks me in these types of sequels that come out of nowhere, where they act as though we've had all of this time to develop stuff, when really it's like, no, you haven't been making movies for almost 20 years, so I don't know, but like, Will Smith's character has a love interest who is an ex-girlfriend, and they're regularly like, you know me, you know I wouldn't do that, we've got history. I just was like, I don't know her. I don't know her. I don't know your relationship. I don't care about the stakes of that at all. Now we have to talk about this story because it's literally the most basic kind of story that I think you could use when rebooting a property. Like, of course, there is some criminal who was wronged by these guys years ago, so now they're coming back and that makes them have to not retire and go out and do the stuff. And it's just so basic and bargain bin to me. I mean, they even bring in a new squad of younger characters, as if we're gonna make Bad Boys a big ol' MCU franchise. And it's just like, we don't need this. This isn't working. It's just not necessary. I do like Vanessa Hudgens and Alexander Ludwig, who are a part of that younger group of cops. So I actually didn't hate that storyline so much, but the idea of it just was no good. I was like, why do you have to do that? Like, sure, the execution was okay, so I do give it credit for that. But just personally, I was just kind of like, if you guys can't come up with an original story that really makes sense for this particular property, then why are we doing it? Why are we here? Without actually talking about the developments of this story, because I don't want to spoil anything, I still would recommend seeing it if you want to. But when we get to the third act, I was just like, I cannot believe we are doing this stupid shit. Like, the first hour of this movie, I have to say, I was having an enjoyable time. I liked it. I thought it would be like a 3 out of 5 from me. And then we have some story developments that were just so stupid. I was like, wow. Like, as far as talking about how basic this story is, yeah, just guess what they do. My brain is scrambled. Do you see this? Also, let me just say, this movie is hella violent. It is so violent to the point where it just feels like it's trying to be, you know? The first hour or so of this movie felt like it had this energy. I was kind of into it. I was along for the ride. And then it just felt like we had all these action sequences coming out of nowhere that were not servicing the story. Once I got to the point when I was like, this is good, this is fine, it all of a sudden hit me that we still had like another hour left, and I was like, oh, I wonder what they're gonna do. And then what they did completely turned me off, and none of the fun stuff in between was enough to make up for that for me. I'm gonna give Bad Boys for Life a 2.5 out of 5. Again, it was started out really strong, and I thought it was gonna be an enjoyable time at the movies, but then it turned into a slog, and I was just like, what are we doing here? However, again, I will say that this is not my type of film. I fully understand that. So if you do like these types of films, then maybe this will be really enjoyable for you. Again, I'm like halfway through, you know, I'm halfway there. But I will tell you, there was this one kid a couple rows in front of me. He was having such a good time with this. He was like launching himself out of his chair. I was like, someone needs to get this kid a seatbelt. He is gonna fly right into the IMAX screen. So you know what, maybe this will be a really fun, enjoyable time for you. I always feel like watching, you know, YouTube reviews, it's like, I know whether or not I'm gonna go see it or not. I just like to hear some info. So heading into this holiday weekend, we've got some time with Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday. So if you end up with some free time and you want to go to the movies, this is a fun enough popcorn flick movie, especially if you just like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. You could have a good time. What did you guys think of Bad Boys for Life? Thanks so much for checking out this review. I greatly appreciate it. Like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to watch this now. And I'll see you in my next video.